everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are making this gorgeous bracelet featuring SuperDuo beads and 3mm crystals. I am absolutely in love with how it turned out. I like the colors and I like the design, it's so elegant. If you would like to learn how to make it too, stick around because I will walk you through all the materials you will need and every step of the process. Let's get started. For this project, you will need the following materials, and I will also include a detailed list in the description box below. You will need SuperDuo beads, 3mm crystals, I'm using bicons, but feel free to use any style you like, Miyuki seed beads, size 11/0. I didn't have the exact color I wanted in round Miyuki 11/0s, so I'm using Miyuki Delicas in size 11/0, but you can use either. Miyuki seed beads, size 15/0s. A beading needle and your favorite beading thread. I am using Fireline for this project. That's everything you will need to get started. Start by preparing a comfortable length of thread to work with. I also recommend leaving a long tail. Don't trim it too short. Personally, I like doing this because when my working thread runs out, I can use the tail to continue the project. It makes things so much easier for me. Of course, you can use whatever method works best for you, but leaving a generous tail is my go-to. Let's start the project by picking up one SuperDuo bead. Before you go any further, make sure both holes are open. Once you've checked that, thread through one hole, then come back through the other hole. Continue looping around the bead a few times to secure your thread in place. Once your thread is nice and secure so it doesn't slip, pick up one size 11/0 seed bead and one SuperDuo bead. Slide them both down. Next, go through the second hole of the SuperDuo, the one on the same side. Then pick up another 11/0 seed bead and another SuperDuo. Slide them down and again pass through the second hole of this new SuperDuo on the same side. Pick up one size 11/0 seed bead and another SuperDuo. Slide them down just like before, then go through the second hole of this new SuperDuo, repeating the same steps as earlier. Once you have 4 SuperDuos on your thread, pick up one size 11/0 seed bead, then pass through the unused hole of the very first SuperDuo, the hole that doesn't have an 11/0 next to it. This will bring your thread around to complete the circle. Pull your thread tight and take a moment to arrange your beads so that the SuperDuos sit on the outside and the size 11/0 seed beads are on the inside. Take your time to make it neat. Once everything is in place, pass through the second hole of the same SuperDuo on the same side. Now start by passing through the first 11/0 seed bead from the previous row. Pick up a new 11/0 and pass through the next 11/0 in the circle. Continue all the way around, adding a new 11/0 between each bead from the previous row. Now we are adding the last 11-0 seed bead. Start by passing through the first 11-0 from the previous row. Then continue through the next two 11-0 beads. I'm going seed by seed, but you can go through both at once if you prefer. Once you've passed through the second bead, bring your thread out through the SuperDuo next to it. At this point, you should have something that looks like what you see on the screen. A neat square shape with SuperDuos on the outside and 11-0 seed beads on the inside. Everything should be tidy and well aligned. This was your first unit. Now we are going to build additional units until we reach the length you want for your bracelet. I will make a second unit with you to show the process again, and after that you can continue on your own. Next, pick up one 11-0 seed bead and one SuperDuo. Slide them down to the base, then pass through the second hole of the SuperDuo on the same side. Repeat this process until you've added 3 SuperDuos to your thread. Once you've added 3 SuperDuos, you should be coming out of the opposite hole of the last SuperDuo you added. Now pick up one 11-0 seed bead and pass through the first SuperDuo of this unit to close the circle and complete the second unit. After that, pull your thread and arrange the beads as shown on the screen. Take your time here, it's a bit fiddly, but it will make the next steps much easier. Next, pass through the second hole of the SuperDuo and if possible, continue through the 11-0 bead right next to it. Now we are going to repeat what we did before, adding one new 11-0 between each of the existing 11-0 beads as we work around the circle. Continue all the way around to complete the unit. Now I am adding the last 11-0 with you. Once that's in place, pass through the next two 11-0 beads in the circle, then exit through the SuperDuo. This will position your thread so you're ready to continue building the next unit. Continue building your units the same way we've done until your bracelet reaches the desired length. Once you're happy with the size, I will show you what to do next. Okay, I'm back. I've built enough units to reach the length I want for my bracelet, making sure to account for the length of the magnetic clasp as well. Now it's time for the next step, adding some beautiful embellishments to decorate these units. Right now, my thread is coming out of the far right SuperDuo. If you hold your work the same way I'm holding mine, you will need to bring your thread to exit from the bottom SuperDuo of this unit. To do that, pass through the second hole of the current SuperDuo, then through the 11-0 bead between the SuperDuos, and finally exit through the bottom SuperDuo. After that, go through its other hole to position your thread for the next step. Now it's time to add some embellishments. Pick up one 3 mm crystal, one size 15-0 seed bead, and another 3 mm crystal. Then pass through the SuperDuo that's diagonally opposite from the hole your thread is coming out of, just like you can see in the video. Pull your thread gently to position all the beads neatly between the SuperDuos. Then pass through the other hole of the same SuperDuo. Next, pick up one 3 mm crystal and pass through the 15-0 seed bead that sits between the first two 3 mm crystals. Once you are coming out of that 15-0 seed bead, pick up another 3 mm crystal and pass through the bottom SuperDuo to place it neatly, just as you can see in the video. Next, pass through the other hole of the current SuperDuo. Now we need to move our thread to the bottom SuperDuo of the next unit. To do this, go up through the 11-0 seed bead and the SuperDuo next to it. Then down through the next 11-0 seed bead to reach the bottom SuperDuo of the following unit. Finally, enter the other hole of that bottom SuperDuo to position your thread for the next embellishment. Continue adding these embellishments until all of your units are decorated. Once you've finished, I will meet you at the end to show you the next step. Okay, I'm back. I finished embellishing all my units and just look at this beautiful work. I'm absolutely in love with the colors. It looks amazing and I hope you like it too. Just look at the back of this bracelet. It's so neat and tidy. I love how it turned out. Now I will show you how to add a clasp. For my bracelet, I found that picking up 6 15-0 seed beads and going inside the clasp was enough. But you will need to see how many beads work best for your own bracelet. I originally tried 9, but 6 fit better. So feel free to adjust and experiment until you get the right fit for your clasp. Once you figure out how many seed beads you need to attach your clasp, pass through the other hole of the SuperDuo you are coming from. Then go through the same SuperDuo again along with the newly added seed beads to reinforce the clasp. Keep going around until the clasp feels securely attached. After you finished reinforcing, go around your bracelet, make a few knots and trim the thread. Then repeat the same process on the other end of the bracelet. Reinforce the clasp, tie a few knots and cut the thread. And that's it. Your bracelet is now complete and ready to wear. Okay, I've reinforced my clasp, tied a few knots, and trimmed all the threads on both sides. Just look at this beautiful bracelet. I hope you enjoyed making your own project as much as I did. If you have any questions about the process, feel free to leave me a message. I hope you had a great time creating it. Bye for now, and I will see you in my next project.